house give more returns. Get more security and more interest on your fixed deposits from Sri Lanka's largest finance company, LOLC Finance.
Hi, I'm Jovanka Jayaweera from Big Bird Delights. I'm here to answer living's burning questions.
Hi Jovanka, thank you for being on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so let's start at the beginning. Could you tell us a little bit about Big Bird Delights and its journey to what it has become today?
Sure. So Big Bird Delights actually started with a Christmas beverage. During Christmas time, I started making eggnog for my family and friends who thought it was quite nice and they thought I should maybe sell it. So that was my first product. But today we have expanded into a lot. We cater various meals from canapes to starters to short eats to full dinners, desserts, all of that. And today I employ 2 permanent staff as well as a few more temporary people when I need it. So over 5 years, my business has grown and I'm very thankful for that. So on the name Big Bird Delights, how I came up with that name is I wanted something, a positive note to my business, and I have always been a bit of a big person, a fat person as people would call, how you say it to someone's face. But I have never had an issue with it. I mean, I've been raised with a very confident and positive body image, and I've had no issues. So I wanted that to be something very positive. So Big Bird, I've been called all sorts of names when I was growing up. Big Bird, heavy duty, fat, all sorts of things. But I just wanted it to be a positive thing. So I wanted to name my business and say, look, I am a big bird, but I have a business out of it now. So it's just a constant reminder to me, and that's how I came up with the name.
So can you tell us about some of the methods you use to keep up with the competition in the catering business?
Actually, I'm a real old soul at heart. I do follow some things online, but I do experiment a lot at home. And I use a lot of old recipe books that have been given to me by various people, friends, family, older aunts, grandparents. I still use a lot of the old cooking methods, and sometimes I find that when you just get into the kitchen with nothing else to do and you just try these things out, inspiration really strikes and you can just try new things that way.
Given everything that has happened in the past few years, what are some of the major challenges that you have faced?
So the past few years have been quite a challenge, I think, like for small businesses especially. I would say for the food industry, the challenge has been the constant price increases and the lack of ingredients. That was really evident in the last few months. So working around that has been really difficult because as a small business owner, I still really strive to give my clients the best possible quality that I can, and sometimes not having ingredients and not having access to ingredients plus things being so expensive has been really tough. But we've tried to work around it. I've taken certain things off my menu that we can't afford anymore because I would rather do that than give something that is not of the best standard. So I would say price increases and inaccessibility has been a huge issue in the last few months.
So could you tell us about a time when you faced a challenge with clients and how do you generally overcome it?
So I think with clients sometimes, most of my clients, actually my regular clients are now my friends as well because I've had them for over about 4 or 5 years. But once in a way you come across someone who is really trying to bargain, and then especially at these rates it's really hard to do. One story to tell you is that once somebody asked me if I can lower the price of a beverage if I don't give the bottle. So I was like, how do I give it to you then? But those are little things that you have to deal with, and I'm sure everyone who deals with clients, you have these little issues, but for the most part I have had a good relationship with my clients, and I'm thankful for that.
Where do you draw inspiration from in terms of creating new dishes?
So as I said before, I do draw a lot of inspiration from old cookbooks. I also draw inspiration from one thing I absolutely love to do is instead of eating at restaurants, I really love eating in people's homes, because a homemade meal is something you just cannot put a price on, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be something fancy. So I do draw a lot of inspiration from my friends, my family, and wherever I visit, wherever I travel, I love to try new things, new kinds of food, and I do draw a lot of inspiration from wherever I am, really.
What tips would you give to those looking to start their own catering business?
I would say in this very digital age, I've noticed that there are some very good cooks, but we have just got so confused with between delivering a good product and having a really nice picture on Instagram. So the only advice I can give is that just focus all your energies on the quality of your product. And even if you don't have a Facebook page or an Instagram page, you will have clients for life, because they will keep coming back. You will have a good clientele. I think the problem now is with everything being digital and everything being about likes and comments, we have got lost with delivering good quality products. So many people have said how, there are people, their food looks really good, but sometimes when you taste it, it's not so good. So I think the lesson to learn is that quality and quality of your product should be your first priority. Social media is definitely a secondary.
So going forward, what can we look forward to from Big Bird Delights?
So I'm actually hoping to expand my kitchen a bit this year, where I can accommodate a few more orders, because what I find is during busy seasons I have to turn a lot of orders down because of capacity. So I'm hoping to expand my kitchen, and I am also hoping to expand on the grazing table front.
Great, thank you so much, Jovanka, for answering our questions. So we'll take a little break and come back to our fun game segment.
Sure.
Be part of the solution to make your world a better place. Don't litter. Care for your community by disposing waste properly. Refresh Sri Lanka for a civic-minded society. In association with AICPA and CIMA, CA, the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Sri Lanka, and 99X. LMD, the voice of business.
Hi Jovanka, so welcome back to the show and to our very interesting game that we have for you. So what we do have for you is a tongue twister or
Okay.
several tongue twisters. So in the bowl you will find some papers with some tongue twisting sentences. So you can pick from one and then start reading it out and say it as fast as you can.
Okay. She sells seashells by the seashore. The shells she sells are surely seashells. So if she sells shells on the seashore, I'm sure she sells seashore shells. Oh my gosh. Okay. Swan swam over the sea. Swim, swan, swim. Swan swam back together. Well swum, swan. Oh my gosh, where did you find this from? Oh, that's a long one. Betty Botter bought some butter, but she said this butter's bitter. But a bit of better butter will but make my batter better. So she bought some better butter, better than the bitter butter, and it made her batter better. So 'twas better Betty Botter bought a bit of better butter. I want a proper cup of coffee from a proper copper coffee pot. I think I did okay on that one.
Just hope you didn't get off
Considering-
butter because of that.
I know, considering it was a bit of a long one. 11 benevolent elephants. 7 slick slimy snakes slowly sliding southward. I'm not a peasant plucker. I'm a peasant plucker's son. And I'm only plucking peasants till the peasant plucker comes. Next. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. A peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked. If Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, where's the peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked? A skunk sat on a stump. The stump thought the skunk stunk. The skunk thought the stump stunk. What stunk? The skunk or the stump? How much wood would a woodpecker chuck if a woodchuck would? Oh no! No, I got it wrong. How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? He would chuck, he would, as much as he could, and chuck as much wood as a woodchuck would if a woodchuck could chuck wood. Last one. Whether the weather be fine or whether the weather be not, whether the weather be cold or whether the weather be hot, we'll weather the weather whatever the weather, whether we like it or not. Wow.
So that's the end of the game segment. I hope you had fun with those.
Yes,
tongue
I did.
twisters.
Thank you. It's hilarious. So here are my answers to the questions and the game. Be sure to check out Living's Facebook and Instagram pages for more episodes of Living Gets Real.